up guys, EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my Blu-ray DVD update for January 18th, 2021. So I've got 8 new Blu-rays to show you, all from 2019, all big sort of sci-fi superhero action movies, so some big blockbusters from a couple years ago. So let's get right into it. So first we have Elita, Battle Angel, directed by Robert Rodriguez. I believe the script was written by James Cameron. Yeah, I dug this film. I thought it was pretty cool, even though I didn't really understand a lot of the names and the places. The whole new sort of story about this cybernetic girl who sort of lost her memory and gets brought back to life by this doctor, played by Christoph Waltz. Always great to see him. Good supporting cast. People like Jennifer Connelly, Mahershala Ali, Ed Skrein. So yeah, good film. I thought the effects were cool. I didn't love the whole sort of rollerball game that they were playing or whatever. But for the most part, I really liked it. Yeah, I thought it was a cool sort of post-punk cyber action sci-fi movie, and I really enjoyed it. That is Elita, Battle Angel. Alright, up next, biggest film of the year in my opinion, and that is Avengers Endgame. Finally picked this up. Absolutely love this film, of course. Love the whole MCU. Yeah, just a culmination of the last 11 years of the MCU since 2008. And Iron Man, of course, played by Robert Downey Jr. Chris Evans, fantastic. Chris Hemsworth. The whole entire cast, just fantastic. Josh Brolin as Thanos, of course, trying to make the world right again after the events of Infinity War, which I also loved. Actually, when I rented this and watched this, when I got it on Netflix, I watched it like back to back. The same day. I watched it in like the afternoon when I got it, and then later that evening, which is something I never usually do with movies, is watch them like back to back like that. But I loved it so much, I was like, I have to watch this again. Really like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, who I'll get to later. My only big problem with this movie was she pisses off through like half this movie. She like just flies off into space and has to go look for stuff, and she's like gone through most of the film. But the action is epic, the story is fantastic, lots of great character moments and comedic moments. Loved Smart Hulk, stuff like that, and Thor with the belly. Yeah, just a great supporting cast. People like Paul Rudd and Elizabeth Olsen. Of course, I watched WandaVision, the first couple episodes of that this past week on Disney Plus. So really interested to see where that goes, continuing on the MCU. I mean, it's been over a year since we've seen anything from Marvel. So yeah, revisiting this. I need to rewatch Infinity War as well, I think, before I watch this again. But Avengers Endgame, absolutely brilliant. Probably my favorite film of 2019. Alright guys, moving on. Up next, another great Marvel film from 2019 that I really enjoyed, and that is Captain Marvel. Like I said, I really like Brie Larson as an actress, and I thought she was wonderful in this movie. Really charming and funny as Carol Danvers. Great to see Samuel L. Jackson, of course, as Nick Fury. Jude Law, always great. Ben Mendelsohn was good. I really enjoyed this film, specifically because of the time frame that it's set in 1995. All those great 90s references, not least of which was the great Stan Lee's cameo. I just loved it when you see him on the train and he's reading from the script from Mallrats. Like I've said before in other videos, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. And to be honest, I was introduced to Stan Lee by Kevin Smith in that film Mallrats before the whole Marvel universe took off. I'm not a comic book reader. I never have been. I don't own any comics. But of course my superhero knowledge comes from all these superhero films that I've seen over the years, and obviously from the MCU over the past decade plus. So seeing Stan Lee reading from the Mallrats script was just a great touch. I absolutely loved that moment, and Kevin Smith has talked about it numerous times. Just a really sweet moment, especially since it was one of his last cameos before he passed away. So yeah, the whole 90s, 1995 aspect of this film really worked for me. Like I said, I was disappointed in Endgame that she wasn't in it more because I really enjoyed her character. I really enjoyed this film. Um, yeah, just really loads of fun. And like I said, Brie Larson is a great actress. And I really enjoyed Captain Marvel. Alright, up next, speaking of another universe of sorts, and that is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Of course, sort of Warner Brothers MonsterVerse that they've been sort of doing over the past 5 years or so. Um, yeah, I enjoyed this film about the same as Godzilla from 2014 and Kong, Skull Island. Um, yeah, it was perfectly fine. Good supporting cast. I'm a big fan of Vera Farmiga. She's a terrific actress. I liked her a lot in this. Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. Kyle Chandler. Great to see people like Zhang Ziyi and Ken Watanabe. Yeah, cool film. Godzilla taking on like Mothra and Rodan and King Ghidorah. Um, Little sort of hard to see in spots when it comes to the fighting, and of course we just got a new teaser for the Godzilla versus Kong movie that's coming out, I believe in March on HBO Max. So I'm sure that'll be fine. These aren't great films, I would say, but they're good, fun, popcorn, giant monsters kicking ass, and I'm always down to watch that. So that is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Alright, guys, moving on. Up next, we have Men in Black International, starring Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, of course, alums from Avengers. Um, yeah, it's not great. Probably the weakest of the Men in Black franchise, and that's saying a lot because I'm not a big fan of Men in Black 2 at all. Men in Black, the first film, is a good movie. I wouldn't say it's great, but it stood the test of time. Of course, Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, terrific together. And I like Men in Black 3 from what I remember. Laura Flynn Boyle sort of brought down Men in Black 2. But this was on par, if not below, Men in Black 2, if you ask me. Sort of very joyless, I thought. Um, Sort of an interesting concept, seeing Men in Black abroad, or in London, if you like. I mean, really good supporting actors like Emma Thompson and Liam Neeson, Rebecca Ferguson, who I'm a big fan of hers. But yeah, just Hemsworth and Thompson just really didn't do it for me in this movie. Um, yeah, Men in Black's fine as a franchise. Like I said, even the first one is, I mean, a lot of people think of it quite fondly, but I would never call it a great movie. It has its flaws. But yeah, there you go. Men in Black International. Alright, up next, switching from Marvel to DC, we have Shazam. Yeah, good, interesting, fun movie, I thought, starring Zachary Levi. I enjoyed it for the most part. Mark Strong, always great as a villain. Really like him as an actor. I enjoyed most of this film from what I remember. I do remember that the sort of final fight, the CGI, sort of bugged me. I think it takes place at a theme park from what I remember. Apart from that, up until that point, I really had fun with this film. Sort of a light DC, especially considering the other stuff we've gotten in the DC universe. Sort of the darkness of Batman v Superman and Justice League, but hopefully that'll be those ones will be righted soon on HBO Max, turning into a 4-hour movie. I don't know about that, but who knows? I liked Aquaman. I love Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 84, not so much. That's all I'll say about that until I get that movie. I'll talk about that a lot more then. But I love the first Wonder Woman. I liked Aquaman. I mean, I do like. I mean, I didn't hate Justice League or Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel, any of those films. But Shazam was quite light and fun. But like I said, the final sort of fight I didn't love the CGI monsters or whatever in that moment, from what I remember. But Shazam was pretty cool, I thought. Alright, guys, moving on. Up next to another sequel, of course, and that is Terminator Dark Fate. Um, yeah, the problem with this film is it's the sixth of the franchise. Pretty much all Terminators are the same movie at this point. It was cool to see Linda Hamilton back. I thought she was good in this. The newcomer, Mackenzie Davis, she was fine. Arnold, of course. Diego Luna. So for the most part, I enjoyed the cast, and especially Linda Hamilton. But like I said, this is the sixth Terminator film we've gotten so far. So by this time, the whole timeline has been changed with the saving of Judgment Day and or the preventing of Judgment Day and all that stuff. And now we have a new one or something like that. It's too much at this point, and they're basically all the same movie. Um, cool action, but like I said, I will say it was a big improvement over Genesis. I don't know what that was, and I like parts of Salvation, and I still like Rise of the Machines. I think that's a decent film. That's aged pretty well, I think, and of course the first two are classics. But yeah, Terminator Dark Fate. Not the worst in the franchise, but nowhere near the best either. It is what it is. It's another Terminator film, but it was cool. Like I said, Linda Hamilton was really the big draw for me seeing her in this. So that is Terminator Dark Fate. All right, last but not least, or especially least, maybe in this case for these movies, we have X-Men Dark Phoenix. I thought this was originally just called Dark Phoenix. I didn't know there was a X-Men Dark Phoenix. I didn't really think about that until I got this movie. I'd always called it Dark Phoenix was when that year was happening. But obviously part of the X-Men new franchise with James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, who are all terrific in their roles. And of course we get Sophie Turner as the new Jean Grey. Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones, of course. Sansa Stark. Basically, sort of a bad remake of X-Men 3: The Last Stand. Yeah, that's probably my least favorite of the original X-Men movies. With Famke Janssen as Jean Grey, of course. X2, X-Men United is probably definitely still my favorite. But I've never been a big fan of the original X-Men either. From 2000. But anyway, at this point it's like the 10th different X-Men movie we've got, if you include all the Wolverine movies as well. This sort of fell along the same lines. I think the recent Fantastic Four movie sort of fell under. Maybe this one was a little bit more fun than that movie. But it wasn't great. The trouble is, I think Jean Grey is too much of a OP character. She just has such amazing and very powerful abilities that sort of dwarfs anybody who can challenge her, really. And that's kind of the big problem, I think, with that character in particular. It was the problem in X-Men The Last Stand, I thought, as well. But yeah, always cool seeing these X-Men characters, even if it's is Wolverine in this. I always complain about Wolverine being in every fucking X-Men movie. I'm trying to remember if he was. I'm pretty sure he was. He must have a cameo in there. But obviously, most fans are probably excited about hopefully seeing X-Men in the MCU at some point. Maybe WandaVision will have something to do with that. We'll see. But yeah, another X-Men movie. I didn't like it as much as the other new X-Men movies like First Class and Days of Future Past, maybe on par with Apocalypse. But I really don't remember much about that film at this point. But yeah, I like the new actors playing these roles, McAvoy and J Law and Michael Fassbender. I especially like the scene where Michael Fassbender is like leading the mutants on that island, and they just won't be left alone, and then the guys show up and is like, "Oh, you're dragging me back into this fight or whatever." That was a cool scene, I thought. But beyond that, this film didn't do much for me. And I like Sophie Turner a lot. I liked her on Game of Thrones. I thought Sansa. I mean, even though she's sort of sort of a entitled, whiny princess at the beginning of that show. I really enjoyed her growth during that show. Um, so I liked Sophie Turner on that. Yeah, she was fine as Jean Grey, but not great. So that is X-Men: Dark Phoenix. So those are the 8 movies, all from 29 big blockbustery action, sci-fi, comic book, superhero stuff. Um, so yeah, some big films from a couple years ago. Um, Probably in a few weeks, I'll do my birthday update. My birthday is the first week of February, so hopefully I'll get some things for that. So thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see ya.
Bom,